I'm excited about our conversation today because we're talking about money moves and career moves. And as you all know, we have been having this conversation. I guess we can call it a series now because we're on part two of talking about the analyst versus the spender. And for those of you who are not familiar, my husband is the analyst. He's the person who manages our household income. He does the finances. He also makes the smart money decisions for us as well, and has been a critical role, played a critical role in us achieving financial freedom.
To put
And
simply, he's the frugal one.
frugal. He's the frugal one, okay? And I'm the spender, proudly. I spend the most in our household, and I am the one who spends, and I wasn't willing to change my spending habits. So I knew that it was important for me to make more money to sustain the lifestyle that I want. So today, what we'll be talking about is from an analyst perspective, how to be smart with your money, and from a spender's perspective, how to go after opportunities so that you can make more money so that your spending isn't as big of a problem. So,
So I want to jump right into it.
okay.
Let's jump right into it. Because you said that you were not willing
Yeah.
to change
Mm-mm.
your spending habits.
Yeah.
And that's enough to start a conflict right there, right?
Yeah.
Like, but because we budget together and we work together, we had to find a way to balance it, right? And so the way that what was your strategy? Because firstly, I think it's important that you define the lifestyle,
Yes.
right? And given how you define that lifestyle, you knew a certain income was needed. So
Yeah.
and because you were unwavering in that lifestyle, right? Which isn't extravagant.
Mm-hmm.
But see, given where we were, it could be viewed as extravagant first,
Yeah.
fresh out of grad school.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you? Because your aim was like, I got to make more money.
Yes.
So hence the book, promote
Promote your damn
yourself,
self.
approach your damn self, right? So the spender, how did the spender find a way to still maintain her lifestyle, right?
Yes.
And still maintain her marriage as the analyst is looking at the numbers like this budget is tight.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love this question. So let's set the scene. At the time when we first did our first budget, we were living in San Antonio in a townhome. We were renting. And is that you fact checking?
I'm trying to think if we were in the townhome renting or if
Or
we
in
were
the
in the apartment
apartment?
renting.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it was in San Antonio
It was
though.
in San
Like for
Antonio
the
for sure.
record, when we
Fresh out of
first
grad
moved,
school.
fresh out of grad school. So we were either in the apartment, which was 2013, 2014, or we were in the townhome, which was 2014, 2015.
And when we moved
Yeah.
to San Antonio, which is why we started budgeting,
Yeah.
do you remember?
Oh, you talking about Taco Cabana or just like,
No,
oh.
we didn't have jobs.
Oh yeah. Okay, so this conversation is okay, we're
Right?
gonna have to circle back to that. So let me just
No, but the point that I'm making is like you're trying to situate when it started
yeah.
with the townhouse. I'm saying I think it was in the apartment. We agreed with San Antonio, and the need
Yeah.
came from the fact that we had moved from Minnesota
Mm-hmm.
to San Antonio
Without
without
jobs,
jobs.
yeah.
And if we just spent without accounting for what
Mm-hmm.
was going in or what was going out,
Right.
we were going to be in real big trouble.
Yeah.
So that's where the budget really introduced itself because at the time the income was zero,
Yeah, the income was zero.
right?
And I think that that's a good grounding. And I
Hmm.
appreciate you grounding us there because, even when I think about that time, I was working two jobs, two full time jobs
As soon as you got down
as
there,
soon as I
yeah.
got down there. So I was working as an adjunct instructor at a professional type
SCI.
college.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't have said
That's what I was
this.
trying to frame it.
My bad.
And then I was also working as a recruiter
Yeah.
as well. And
Won't
that
say that
recruiter
company
job
name.
was very demanding. So I was working from like 7 to 7. And then I was teaching from like 7 to, well, I was working from 7 to 6 and then teaching from like 7 to 10 o'clock at night. So with that, the job was really demanding. And honestly, before I even started teaching, I was working in their call center, making call center calls to clients to get them to enroll in the institution, and they saw I
I
was doing
remember that.
so good that
Grinding.
I was able to promote my
You got
damn self.
promoted. You got
Okay.
promoted.
So anyway, back to the question. Just setting the foundation. We were renting. I was working multiple jobs. My husband at the time was a teacher, a
Now
math
we're
teacher.
moving a bit further down, right? When
Yep.
the school year started.
Yep.
So now, right,
Yeah.
we are increasing our income,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
So, and I just like, as that progression, I want to, so no income with, expenses,
Yeah.
needing to say, hey, we're running a negative
Right.
every month. We're tapping into savings every month. Thank
Yeah.
you, God. We had savings, so we didn't have to swipe on the credit card.
Right.
Because we had the savings and we didn't have to swipe on the credit card, we weren't stressed out about the bills, but we were stressed out about the need to make more income.
Mm-hmm.
But again, because we had savings,
Yeah.
we didn't have credit card debt and
Right.
all of those things that followed. So, as the analyst, I just don't want to gloss over things
Mm-hmm.
because that is my area. That the point that I'm trying to make is that as we're navigating through life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, you're looking at the income, getting two jobs, getting promoted. Me as the analyst, though, I'm like, hold on, don't forget the fact that by us doing so, part of the reason was because we introduced the budget. We were in a certain position where we could navigate those things, and that's why it's very important that you have emergency savings funds, right? Emergency savings funds, depending upon how you define it. Of
Right.
course, we had more than $500,
Mm-hmm.
right? We had a few months, 6 months,
Right.
let's say, because we moved after you graduated in May, and we knew that the school year started by about August, September in Texas, and that I could be a teacher.
Yeah.
So we had enough savings to bridge that gap,
Mm-hmm.
and we were able to move down to Texas, Brandon Oaks apartment without
Right.
jobs because we had the savings and we had good credit scores.
Right.
So we were able to pay the lease off immediately
Right.
when we moved. So it's important that, like,
We had a short-term 3-month lease.
yeah, short term,
Yeah.
but the thing again though is just that, granted, there was a lot of risk, but there was also some stability, there was strategy, and in some of the later videos that I have that speak about the 5 signs that you need a budget, because we had some of those things, we didn't have those red flags like I went through with those 5 things. The part of the reason, and the main reason, was because we were budgeting.
Right.
So that's the point. So I'm sorry for interrupting you in that regard. I just wanted to make sure that as we progress and we speak about like our upward mobility,
Right.
that we first situated in the fact of, and this is why like we're here. We're talking about 2013 right now,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So that's just really, and to say it's a long
Yeah.
grind. It wasn't, it took 13 years
Yeah.
to become an overnight success.
Child, it did. And it was more than that because we're not counting all the hard work that we had to do in university before even getting to that point.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think that's really good grounding. And the reason why I wanted to start there is because what I realized is even while working those two jobs, my habits were still the same.
Hmm.
I was working a lot and I wanted to go to Papa Do's, or I wanted to go to Acadiana, or I wanted to go shopping, or I wanted to go somewhere to celebrate, what we had done. And I
Cause we
think
were off the
like,
Riverwalk,
yep, we were off the Riverwalk. Yep, we would
eating
go
good.
there eating really good. Boudreaux's is where we went to.
Boudreaux.
And I enjoyed the luxuries of the experiences. And at that time, my budget was pretty high, and I think it was somewhere around $2,000 that I was spending a month. And that necessarily did not include bills. That was going out and having a good time. But what I realized that I was doing when I was working those two jobs, I was trading time for money. So I was working these long hours and I was making this collective income that thank goodness to my husband who went through an interview process at the company that I work with. he had made me aware of a role that had came up that really allowed me to promote my damn self, and it was a entry level sales role. And at the time, honestly, my ego almost stopped me from taking that job because I was like entry level, and I was like sales. But then when I looked at it holistically, the salary plus the commission gave me a really good opportunity to really drive income on my own accord versus, making just a salary without any bonuses or perks. So that really set the foundation, like, honestly, like when it comes to career, of what the trajectory could look like.
And
And
what? Oh,
go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
go ahead.
No, I was going like what you're saying simply is that though it was an entry level position,
Hmm.
it had a nice compensation
It had a
package
really nice compensation
and
package.
springboard for future opportunity.
Yes, and I think that that's important to call out, especially if you're someone who's trying to figure out like what's the next role. It is so easy to get wrapped up in titles. It's so easy to get wrapped up in what they call you. The reality is, a year ago I was considered a VP. Now I'm considered head of sales, but my income is still the same as, well, actually, it's increased as a function of the change. So don't get too caught up in the titles. What you should really be looking at is the earning potential, the income potential, the growth potential. And I'm so grateful I was able to see that early on, because when you look at it, the salary was only $40,000. And but $40,000 was a lot for San Antonio in 2013. I think it was like slightly above the median household income. So $40,000 was considered a good amount, but the
If I'm
commission,
not mistaken, the 40,000 was more than you was making though at the time, right?
correct, it
So
was.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's real easy to speak in 2026 terms about 2013
Yeah, I
times.
know. I
And so I
know.
want to like
Hmm.
situate and make sure that like that was a step up.
Yeah, it was. It was a
Yeah.
step up, and it was a step up in income and also a step up in time, because I wasn't working from 7
Yep.
until
It
10.
wasn't the
I
nine to
was working a
five
9
type.
to
Yep.
5, which was great, but I was still holding on to the SEI piece for a little while until I fully
Now
transitioned.
you said it that time, not me.
Yeah, I know. I had to say it. But it is what it
We'll
is.
edit that
We will edit it out if we need
out.
to. But as I was saying, like the earning income, like the uncapped commission was great. And I'm not even gonna lie, like this was my first full-fledged sales job. So the first year was kind of tough. People were making it rain. I mean, people were doubling their salary. One person actually tripled the salary because they hit accelerators, and accelerators basically mean when you hit your 100% goal, they multiply the income that you make. So you can make a whole lot more. And I won't lie, I was a bit jealous of the people who were making money because I was working hard and I was making a lot of phone calls, 100 to 150 phone calls a day, but I wasn't there. But what really separated me and allowed me to promote my damn self wasn't the fact that I hit my quota. The first year I did not hit my quota, but I was business savvy enough to inform my leadership team and executive leadership team that the territory and the quota was not set up correctly. And I had evidence with the help of my husband, who's the analyst. We sat down and we looked at the numbers together, and I was able to bring a compelling argument. Now, keep this in mind. I did not get promoted the first year. I did not hit my quota the first year. I did not hit any goals the first year at all. But that foundation set me up that second year where I was able to put myself in a position to apply and interview for a manager role, which nearly doubled my salary, which nearly doubled my salary.
All right, so we could pause for a
Okay.
second because you know I'm interjecting
Okay.
as I've been doing now. Because you're glossing over some very important things. I think. Um, now you said a lot of numbers. Well, not quite numbers, but the goals that you said. I
Hmm.
didn't hit this goal. I didn't have. They were quantitative based.
Yeah, they were quantitative.
They were and I'm the quantitative guy.
Yeah.
But ironically, I want to bring in a little qualitative information.
Okay.
And I could remember when I went out there to see you at that job
Hmm.
that I was surprised what they called you. What did
Hmm.
they call you?
Dr. Love,
Oh. But you got a
MBA.
MBA, but they called you Dr. Love.
Yeah.
And that's because the rapport. the respect,
Mm-hmm.
that qualitatively
Yeah.
they knew who you were,
Yeah.
even though quantitatively it may have said otherwise.
Yeah.
So you were able to, in spite of not hitting your goal, not hitting the man, not
Mm-hmm.
hitting the, you were able to establish yourself as Dr. Love qualitatively,
Mm-hmm.
such that when it was time for promotion, those quantitative metrics didn't stand in your way.
They didn't.
And so you were about to speak about, if I'm not mistaken, either about to or you spoke about the promotion, that move. And you just in passing said I wasn't hitting numbers.
Yeah.
But you didn't really highlight what I think is important is that qualitatively
Yes.
the leadership
Mm-hmm.
recognized what you had to offer
Right.
in spite of. And that when you were able to present the fact that it was more so because what you were selling was textbooks, and it was more so a function of when the state was adopting new
Right.
textbooks,
Right.
that's why you weren't hitting those metrics,
Yeah.
whereas others may have been. But qualitatively it was understood that even though you had your MBA,
Right.
that you were Dr. Love,
Mm-hmm.
and that these were entry level positions. And when it was time to get promoted, those qualitative skills, those qualitative achievements is what actually led to you getting promoted, quantitative metrics notwithstanding
Yeah.
or in spite of, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to interject
Mm-hmm.
that point because it could be easy to overlook the
Yeah.
fact that you are worthy of a promotion
Mm-hmm.
if you're only looking at very specific goals.
Yeah.
And so it's important that as you promote your damn self,
Right.
that you use measures and metrics that are in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that in your book, you mentioned how it's very important to keep a running record
Yeah.
of achievements.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those achievements may not be defined the way that leadership currently defines it, but they are certainly aligned
Yeah.
with the goals that leadership has.
Yeah, that's a good point. And even going back to my point earlier about not defining yourself by the title, even though I was an inside sales rep, I functioned as a leader in every single position, in every single action. And I do have,
Because it was
prior
your
leadership
colleagues
experience,
that
right?
called you Dr.
Dr.
Love.
Love. Even the
The
leaders call me
leaders
Dr.
called
Love.
you
And,
Dr.
and what
Love.
I realized is that leadership, those leadership capabilities were transferable skills. So when I was in a space where my manager was overburdened and overwhelmed and he wasn't available, I made myself available to the team to coach them, to guide them.
And I
He,
gotta, I'm so sorry for
yeah,
interrupting you, but I gotta
God
say,
rest his
God
soul.
rest his soul.
Yeah,
Go
God
ahead, I'm
rest his
sorry.
soul. Matt Bentz, God rest your soul. Um, Great leader,
But
great
when he
person, great
wasn't,
human. But when he wasn't available, I would step in for him. But what he realized, he did not have that ego, right? And I was blessed in that regard that he didn't have an ego where he was like, "Who does she think she is stepping
mm-hmm,
in, or who does she think she in trying to do my role?" And I wasn't necessarily trying to do his role. Like my strategy was to make it easy for him to do his job and to help to maximize the likelihood of success. And that allowed me, like, I had to remove my ego in that regard because him winning and me helping him win put another feather in my hat. So when something came up, he was saying my name in rooms that I wasn't yet
thank you,
invited
Jesus.
into. Thank you, Jesus. So what he realized is that at the core, yes, I am a leader, but I'm also a strategist. What the team didn't see was behind closed doors when I was having my one-on-one, I wasn't just talking about me. I was talking about members of my team and I was talking about amplifying them or the areas of opportunity that they may not be able to see yet or he couldn't see because he wasn't always surrounded by them. So it really helped to honestly offset the fact that I did not always meet my quota. I didn't meet my quota, but we were able to see other areas across the team and amplify them a bit to even out the overall number, the performance. But
But
qualitatively,
qualitatively, you demonstrated your leadership skills that then, when it was time for a promotion, you were able to get a promotion,
correct.
increase your income,
Right.
right? And that helped us out with our budget.
Right.
So just, I'm sorry for interjecting, but
Yeah.
yes, you were great. You didn't only talk about yourself. You spoke about
Mhm.
everybody, all of these great
Right.
things, but those were things that then led to you getting this promotion,
Yeah.
which helped out our budget, right?
Yeah.
So here we are now.
Yeah. And how do, as we were making more money, right?
Hmm.
How did you take that into consideration and how did you identify, okay, she's not going to stop spending, but she's making more money, but we also got longer range goals that we need to accomplish? How did you like really lean into like the analyst perspective and the savings perspective to help us stay on par, on task to reach our goals?
Well, I had to make sure that I didn't let lifestyle creep.
What is that?
When you're making more money, you want to spend more money.
Mm,
And as you said, you wanted to go to Boudreaux's and all those things.
right.
But see, the thing is that I, as the analyst, had to make sure that we maintained a certain budget because I didn't finish my dissertation yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so during that time period, even though I was teaching, that was supposed to be temporary, right? So that way I could then actually finish writing my dissertation.
Mm-hmm.
So it was important that we didn't allow for the fact that you were making more money, that you were getting promoted, and that you may have been flirting with lifestyle creep. Because if we allow for the lifestyle to creep, then we might find ourselves dependent upon that money that I was making as a teacher, in
Mm-hmm.
addition to the money that you were making as you were getting promoted.
Mm-hmm.
But because we weren't dependent upon it, and because we kept the budget tight, that allowed for me to be able to stop working to finish up
Right.
my dissertation. And then the job that I got afterwards was more so in alignment with not that of an educator,
Mm-hmm.
but someone with a PhD in quantitative methods.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I had to make sure I did again was keep us focused,
Mm-hmm.
to be quite frank, on the long term. Because,
What did that look like?
well, I wasn't, you wanted an Audi,
Mm-hmm.
right? You were spending $100 on your nails, and you were doing all these things that, or you were beginning to do all of these things.
Right.
Um, it's important, I think, that we situate that as you got that promotion, we purchased our home shortly thereafter.
Right.
So within 2 years, we moved to San Antonio in 2013. By 2015, we had purchased a home.
Right.
Now it went fast,
It did.
right? And we're kind of lost, like, where exactly are we? But I do remember when you got that letter, and maybe and you were sitting in the backyard. So we got the entry level job, right? The sales, right?
Yeah.
Job, and I was teaching. We moved from the apartment where we had paid the lease off to a
Right.
townhome.
Mm-hmm.
And while living in that townhome, you got promoted
Yeah.
and we got the house.
Right.
And then I finished up the dissertation.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, time is.
Yeah.
But again, the point is that we didn't allow for lifestyle creep, because there was a time when I was like, I would rather be I was questioning, and I was saying I would rather be an employed PhD candidate than an unemployed PhD. But because we had that increased income and we kept our bills low, we weren't paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
we had savings. We didn't need to use credit cards.
Right.
We weren't stressed financially, and there wasn't this massive credit card debt,
Yes. And for the record, we were considered dinks, double income, no kids. This was before we had our son.
right? And it was like, uh-oh, we thinks now, but do we want to be sinks and
Right.
fall off and be single income with no kids? And that was kind of what the issue was, right? That's
Right.
kind of, and I see our internet is getting a little better, hopefully to our viewer, and this, like, so that's where, as you were climbing, I had to make sure that it was like, slow down.
Mm-hmm.
We still got something that we accomplished. When we met in Minnesota, it was to finish this. I was working
Yeah.
on a PhD, and it's real easy
Yeah.
to lose sight of that.
And let me jump in because you mentioned something losing sight. It is so easy when you are making more money, especially more money than you've ever made before, right? Most people have a list of things that they want to buy. And the money, like they say,
And you
money,
did,
I sure did.
as
They
we
say
know.
what money gone, money spent. And like in my situation, I knew I wanted the Audi. My hair was definitely going to be done. It was a whole list of
Your nails.
outfits that I was going to get, my nails and trips, excursions, you name it. I had a list and I was ready to check that list off. For those people who are listening, right? How do you call it lifestyle creep? How do you pause in the moment, right? Without feeling like you're sacrificing everything. You've accomplished this goal and you want to, in essence, treat yourself, not cheat yourself. How do you get to the point of saying, okay, if I continue to do this, this is going to dig me deeper into a hole. We can, be so blind to that. How did you, really get to that point of making sure you paused?
Well, I think it. I don't. I think though the thing is that um really I already had my season of spending, and you were in your season of spending.
I was
Like,
entering their mind.
right, you were entering your
Yeah.
season of spending, but because we were able to keep the bills low, we were able to avoid the season of debt.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of like, if I had to put it simply,
Mhm.
and that's the five. Like, we weren't paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Even though you were in your season of spending, you were able to have your income go up where you weren't spending so much that we were paycheck to paycheck.
Mhm.
Like that's what I, cuz the bills were still low, right?
Right.
Like though, like, you wanted a car note, and I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
we not there yet. Like, right?
Mhm.
Like I had paid off my car note while we were in grad school, and we didn't have a car note.
Mhm.
And the thing is that you were like, man, Quentin, I want a car note.
Yeah. I didn't see it that way. I wanted the car without
You
the car
wanted a
note.
car, but you had a car,
Yeah.
but you wanted a new car,
Yes.
and you wanted a car note.
Mhm.
And my thing was, if you're going to get a car, let's pay cash for that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way. And so by us, like, them paying cash, we tapped in the savings, right?
Mhm.
And we didn't have now a monthly expense
Right.
that increased the budget. It was a one time hit. And if you and it was when you were like, hold on, we can't get no car note.
Yeah.
I'm not about to use that much savings for that Audi. Let's get this Impala.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how, and I think that's important, is that don't let them determine how much you're going to spend
Mm.
on the vehicle because they packaged it as a car note. Let's look at that sticker price. We're paying cash. And if you're not feeling that sticker price and willing to pay it cash, don't let them trick you into a monthly payment.
Mm.
And you're paying that sticker price plus interest, plus this, plus that. And I think that's how we were able to stay focused.
Mm.
That's what I did as the analyst. Was it was like, let's buy it cash or don't
Yeah.
buy it at all. And you weren't willing to buy that Audi
Yeah.
A2
Yes.
because it wasn't going to be a good Audi. And I
Yes.
remember I told you, you're buying a keychain,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
If you're buying a luxury car and it has cloth for the interior,
Is it really
is it
luxury?
really luxury?
Is it really luxury?
Right? Those are the kind of things that I was saying. Like, so if you're going to do it the right way or don't do it at all,
I
right?
love that. So, I think this is a good wrapping point because a lot of us are in a space. I know I was there. You heard my whole story. I wanted the keychain, right? That's the experience I wanted. I was trying to prove myself to myself and maybe prove myself to others by way of material things.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I want to make sure that we leave you with from the analyst perspective, the price is not really the price, especially when you're looking at a vehicle. It depreciates the moment that you drive off, meaning it loses value the
Every
moment that
car.
you drive off the lot. So if you see a sticker price, it's the sticker price plus maintenance plus the insurance plus the whatever percent of interest you pay on it, and look at the price holistically, not just the sticker price. So I really appreciate you all joining us, and thank you, analysts, for sharing the
Mm-hmm.
perspective.
That was the
Uh,
perspective
and
as you were making more income.
it's a powerful one that a lot of people miss. I know I was one of those people who was in that boat that would have really missed it if I didn't have you by my side.
Right? That it wasn't no,
Yeah.
it was bae. Not yet.
Not right now. Not
Not
right
right
now.
now.
Right. So if you're liking the gems that we're dropping here, make sure that you all like and subscribe. We'll be in here on another episode really soon. Please subscribe to my husband's channel, Dr. Q Love, DRQ Love, and make sure you subscribe to this channel as well. Until next time, you take care of yourself and take care of each other. Thank you, everyone.